The J.W. Williams Funeral Directors have been proudly serving the people of this community since 1918. Service is our motto. The poor, the rich, the middle class and all are given the best of care and attention at all times. You have the privilege to select what you want. In your time of need, contact the capable, the competent, and the dependable staff of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home who is genuinely concerned with your care. At J.W. Williams Funeral Home, you are aptly served by the proprietor president, Deacon Arthur L. Parker, who continues the traditions and values set forth by the past president, Dr. Napoleon Williams. Your announcements for the J.W. Williams Funeral Home Sunday morning program are Deacon Arthur L. Parker, Reverend Isaac H. Owens, Mrs. Calandra Wilkerson Parker, Minister Frankie Harmon, Miss Sandra Johnson, and Deacon Earl Clark, Jr.
Thank you, and good morning, friends. We come to you this morning to bring announcements, dedications, and songs. We certainly hope that your day may be brighter after listening to our program. The family of United States Navy veteran, Mr. Lawson Brown of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Sister Margie May Perry of Vienna, Georgia. The family of Mother Mary Bell Reeves Doster of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Mrs. Jackie Lango McClure of New York, and Vienna, Georgia, would like to thank their many friends for the food, the flowers, the condolences, and all other expressions of sympathy and kindness shown to them during their hours of sorrow and bereavement during the past week. United States Navy veteran, Mr. Lawson B. Brown, age 66, of 610 East 15th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia, died Tuesday, July 19th, at his residence in Cordele, Georgia. The memorial service for United States Navy veteran, Mr. Lawson B. Brown, age 66, was held Wednesday, July 27th, at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home Portico in Cordele, Georgia. His beloved niece, Pastor Patricia Ann Jones, officiated. Survivors include his loving and devoted nieces and nephews, Miss Tawana Porter, Mr. Benton Porter, Mr. Wilson Williams, Miss Stephanie Johnson, and Miss Latasha Porter, all of Cordele, Georgia. Mrs. Monica Porter Hatley, Mr. Marcus Hatley, and Mr. Sabrabian Porter, all of Albany, Georgia. Mr. Derek Brown of Cordele, Georgia, Miss Lakeisha Grimsley, Miss Ebony Harris, and Mr. Jesse Harris, Jr., all of Albany, Georgia. Pastor Patricia Ann Jones of Jacksonville, Florida, Mr. Jimmy Holmes, Jr., Mr. Gerald Brown of Albany, Georgia, Mr. Nicholas Williams, Miss Amelia Porter, Mr. Brandon Evans, and Mr. Caleb Porter, all of Cordele, Georgia, Mr. Randolph Porter of Macon, Georgia, and Mr. Louis Brunel of Cordele, Georgia. A host of devoted cousins, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends to include the Chris Care Management Team, Hospice Care, Miss Shalise Bryant and Miss Wendy Johnson, the Barthel and Benjamin families, Miss Marie Porter and Miss Sandra Fuller survived. United States Navy veteran Mr. Lawson B. Brown, age 66, of 610 East 15th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia. Sister Margie May Perry, age 72, of 405 West Pine Street, Vienna, Georgia, died Sunday, July 24th, at a residence in Vienna, Georgia. The funeral service for Sister Margie May Perry was held Friday, July 29th, graveside at the Pleasant Valley Baptist Church Cemetery in Pinehurst, Georgia. The Reverend Charles Cobb Sr., pastor of the Free Providence Baptist Church and the Spring Hill Baptist Church, officiated. The eulogy was delivered by her pastor, the Reverend Dr. K.M. Williams, pastor of the Greater Morris Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church in Cordele, Georgia. Survivors include her beloved brothers, Mr. John Lee Perry and his wife, Mrs. Ann Perry, and Mr. Jimmy Lee Perry, both of Vienna, Georgia. Her loving and devoted sisters, Miss Ethel Perry of Vienna, Georgia, Mrs. Chris Perry Gaither of Atlanta, Georgia, and Mrs. Barbara Kendrick and her husband, Mr. Myra Kendrick of Tampa, Florida. One sister-in-law, Mrs. Ella Lofton Perry of Vienna, Georgia. Her beloved first cousins, Mr. Deacon Johnny Perry and his wife, Mrs. Vera Perry of Vienna, Georgia, and Mrs. Betty Perry Foster of Washington, D.C. A host of beloved nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends survived. Sister Margie May Perry, age 72, of 405 West Pine Street, Vienna, Georgia. Mother Mary Bell Reeves Doster, age 83, of 409 West 13th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia, died Wednesday, July 20th, at her residence in Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mother Mary Bell Reeves Doster, age 83, was held Saturday, July 30th, at the A.S. Clark Auditorium on the M.D. White's Medical Institute campus in Cordele, Georgia. Her pastor, the Reverend Jeff Wilson, pastor of the Odom Grove Baptist Church, officiated. The burial followed at the Bethel Cemetery in Cordele, Georgia. Survivors include her loving and devoted daughters, Miss Lelaine Williams and her husband, Deacon Lindbergh Williams of Atlanta, Georgia, Miss Diane Doster Gamble of Lithonia, Georgia, Miss Patricia Doster, and Miss Wanakee Doster, both of Cordele, Georgia, Miss Celestine Lester and her husband, Mr. Terry Lester of Unadilla, Georgia, and Mrs. Juanita Doster Harrell of Albany, Georgia. Her beloved goddaughters, Mrs. Sharon Williams and her husband, Mr. Edward Williams of Powder Springs, Georgia, Mrs. Regina Allen and her husband, Mr. Ricky Allen of Noonan, Georgia, Miss Deborah Green West and her husband, Mr. Ronnie West of Pineview, Georgia, Mrs. Jackie Solomon and her husband, Mr. Raynard Solomon of Marietta, Georgia, and Mrs. Tawana Wilson and her husband, Mr. Demetrius Wilson of Warner Robins, Georgia. A host of loving and devoted grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren. Her beloved nephew, whom she regarded as a son, Commissioner Royce F. Reeves, Sr. of Cordele, Georgia. Her beloved and devoted sisters, Pastor Alice McKenzie and the Reverend Dorothy Reeves Jones and her husband, Mr. Bobby Jones, both of Cordele, Georgia. Mrs. Mildred Robinson of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Miss Wanakee Jenkins and her husband, Fred Jenkins of Cincinnati, Ohio. Miss Agnes Parker, Miss Shavonna Reeves, both of Detroit, Michigan. Her beloved brothers, Deacon Floyd Reeves, Sr. of Atlanta, Georgia. Mr. J.D. Reeves of Anniston, Alabama. Mr. Willie B. Taylor of Ashburn, Georgia. Mr. Robert Reeves and his wife, Mrs. Cherie Reeves of Cincinnati, Ohio. Her beloved son-in-law, Mr. Bobby Gamble of Lawrenceville, Georgia, and Deacon Ronnie Harrell of Albany, Georgia. Her beloved sisters and brothers-in-law, Mrs. Sylvia Reeves of Atlanta, Georgia, Miss Frankie Doster of Albany, Georgia, Miss Joanne Doster and Miss Vernell Doster, both of Cordele, Georgia, Miss Agnes Stubbs and her husband, Mr. Eddie Stubbs of Stockbridge, Georgia, and Miss Lena Mae Bly of Tampa, Florida. A host of beloved nieces and nephews, many cousins, to include Mrs. Geraldine Harvey of Cordele, Georgia, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends, to include her family, her dear family friends, Miss Gradine Ford and Miss Burnell Finn, survived Mother Mary Bell Reeves Doster, age 83, of 409 West 13th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia. Mrs. Jackie Lango McClure, age 69, of 133 West 113th Street, New York, New York, died Monday, July 18, at the Mount Sinai Hospital in New York, New York. The funeral service for Mrs. Jackie Lango McClure, age 69, was held Saturday, July 30th, at the graveside at the Vienna City Cemetery in Vienna, Georgia. Her beloved classmate of the class of 1969 Vienna High School, the Reverend Choice Cobb Sr., and pastor of the Free Providence Baptist Church, officiated. Survivors include her loving and devoted sisters, Ms. Geraldine Lango of New York, New York, and Mrs. Thelma Lango Smith of Cordele, Georgia. Two beloved sisters-in-law, Mrs. Leslie Lango and Mrs. Frances Lester, both of Dooley County, Georgia. One brother-in-law, Mr. Frank Howell, Jr., of Warner Robins, Georgia. A lifetime friend sisters, Ms. Cheryl Lundy of Macon, Georgia, and Mrs. Ruby Manning of North Carolina. 8 beloved nieces, 14 beloved nephews, special cousin, Miss Vera McKenzie of Vienna, Georgia, a devoted friend and Eastern Star sister, Mrs. Dorothy Austin of Maryland, a host of great nieces, great nephews, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends survived. Mrs. Jackie Lango McClure, age 69, at 133 West 113th Street, New York, New York. Again, the family of United States Navy veteran Mr. Lawson Brown of Cordele, Georgia, the family of Sister Margie Mae Perry of Vienna, Georgia, the family of Mother Mary Bell Reeves Doster of Cordele, Georgia, the family of Mrs. Jackie Lango McClure of New York, and Vienna, Georgia, would like to thank their many friends for all of the many kindnesses shown to them during the hours of sorrow and bereavement during the past week. May God bless each of you is their prayer. The J.W. Williams Funeral Directors serving Cordele and Vienna were in charge of each of these arrangements during the past week. And now, it is certainly with the deepest regret that we make the following announcement. Mrs. Talika Diane Ford, age 47, of 105 North Bath Street, Cordele, Georgia, died Tuesday, July 26, at the Chris Regional Hospital in Cordele, Georgia. Survivors include her loving and devoted husband, Mr. Terrence Harris of Cordele, Georgia, her loving children, Mr. McQueese Waits and Miss Janice Palmer, both of Cordele, Georgia, her beloved godchildren, Mr. DeCarlos Colbert of Macon, Georgia, Miss Sojourn Armstrong, Miss Kanaja Hintley, Miss Carlissa Hintley, Mr. Manifest Reed, and Miss Irma Marie Fisher, all of Cordele, Georgia. Her beloved father, Mr. Ernest Gamble of Cordele, Georgia. Her loving sister, Miss Deneen S. Ford of Cordele, Georgia. A beloved brother, Mr. Wayne D. Ford, and his wife, Mrs. Ella Ford of Ohio. Her beloved aunts and uncles, Miss Lena Bell Ford of St. Petersburg, Florida, Miss LaWanda Bennett of Atlanta, Georgia, Miss Latrell Gable of Ohio, Mr. Michael Ford and his wife, Mrs. Maddie Ford of Tapper Springs, Florida, Mr. Jimmy Ford and his wife, Mrs. Juanita Ford of Virginia, and Mr. Edward Ford of Holiday, Florida. Her beloved brothers-in-law, Mr. Marcus Harris and his wife, Mrs. Osha Harris, and Mr. Devon Harris, both of Cordele, Georgia. A host of beloved nieces and nephews, many cousins, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends, to include Miss Kalisha Linder of Cordele, Georgia, survived Mrs. Talika Diane Ford, age 47, 105 North Bass Street, Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mrs. Talika Diane Ford, age 47, will be held Saturday, August 6 at 10 a.m. at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home Portico in Cordele, Georgia. Her pastor, Dr. Frankie Harmon, pastor of the New St. Stephen's Church, will officiate. The burial will follow at the Bethel Cemetery in Cordele, Georgia. The public walk-up visitation will be Friday, August 5th from 1 until 5 p.m. at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. Mr. Boise Dixon, age 70, of 140 Sook Road, Rochelle, Georgia, died Monday, July 18th at the Crisp Regional Nursing and Rehabilitation Center in Cordele, Georgia. Survivors include his loving and devoted children, Mr. Robert Dixon, Mr. Johnny Dixon Sr. and his wife, Mrs. Danita Dixon, and Miss Arlene Dixon, all of Rochelle, Georgia. A host of beloved grandchildren and great-grandchildren, his loving sisters, Mrs. Marzella Mathis of Atlanta, Georgia, Miss Anita Dixon, Mrs. Jeanette Benjamin, Miss Mary Hartgrove, and Mrs. Martha Denmark, all of Rochelle, Georgia. His beloved brothers, Mr. Willie Dixon of Eastman, Georgia, Mr. John David Dixon of Atlanta, Georgia, and Mr. Eugene Dixon of Rochelle, Georgia. A host of devoted nieces and nephews, many cousins, other relatives, and many sorrowing friends survived Mr. Boise Dixon, age 70, of 140 Sook Road, Rochelle, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Boise Dixon, age 70, will be announced at a later date, pending the completion of the arrangements. Mrs. Margaret Ann Hall Trotman, age 65, of 1257 Blue Spring Road, Pineview, Georgia, died Sunday, July 24th at the Taylor Regional Hospital in Hawkinsville, Georgia. Survivors include 11 and devoted children, Miss Letitia Trotman Benjamin and her husband, Mr. Rick Benjamin of Rochelle, Georgia, Mr. Richard Trotman Sr. and his wife, Mrs. Luana Trotman of Tifton, Georgia, 13 beloved grandchildren, 4 great-grandchildren, a beloved brother, Mr. Albert Lee Hall of Jacksonville, Florida, her beloved companion, Mr. Jesse Jackson of Pineview, Georgia, a host of beloved nieces and nephews, many cousins, other relatives, and many sorrowing friends, to include Miss Yvonne Jackson, Miss Teresa Allen, Miss Robin Hooks, and Miss Oline Coley, survived Mrs. Margaret Ann Hall Trotman, age 65, of 1257 Blue Spring Road, Pineview, Georgia. The funeral service for Mrs. Margaret Ann Hall Trotman, age 65, will be announced at a later date, pending the completion of the arrangements. The J.W. Williams Funeral Directors, serving Cordele and Diana, are in charge of each of these arrangements during this week. Friends, that conclude our funeral notices for this morning. And as always, we do remind you concerning our pre-funeral arrangements planning available at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home, with packages available with a single pay a 3-year pay, a 5-year pay, and a 10-year pay. So please stop by and talk with us concerning your funeral arrangements needs available at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. And also whole life insurance is available at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home.
And now for our announcements. The New Poplar Spring Baptist Church invites everyone to worship with them each Sunday at 9:45 a.m. in person and via conference call. You may join them by calling 253-993-3761 for worship service. Wednesdays at 6:30 a.m., 12 p.m., and 7 o'clock p.m. Pastor Johnny Dean, teacher. The Pilgrim Chapel Primitive Baptist Church Union meeting will begin on Friday, August 5th and continue through Sunday, August 7th. There will be worship services Friday. The Pilgrim Chapel Primitive Baptist Church Union meeting will begin on Friday, August 5th through Sunday, August 7th. There will be worship services Friday and Saturday beginning at 1 o'clock p.m. each day, and worship service will begin at 12 o'clock noon on Sunday. Elder Dominique Hilton of Martinsville, Virginia will be the union elder. Elder Kenneth Taylor ordination service for Brother Kenneth Taylor will be held on Sunday, August 7th, beginning at 11 o'clock a.m. Dinner will be served each day. For more information, please call 229-809-1951. Elder Kenneth Taylor, pastor. Elder Sean Sands, co-pastor. The St. King Missionary Baptist Church invites everyone to worship with them each first and third Sunday. Worship service at 8 o'clock a.m. for an hour of power, at 9 o'clock a.m. for Sunday school, and at 10:15 a.m. for worship service. Everyone has a cordial invitation to attend. Reverend Woody Burnham is the pastor. The Tried Stone Bible Study Church of Americus, Georgia, extends a very cordial invitation for everyone to worship with them in their church and pastor's second anniversary today, beginning at 2 o'clock p.m. Bishop Melvin McCluster, pastor of the Friendship Baptist Church, will be the guest speaker. Everyone has a cordial invitation to attend. Pastor Ward is the pastor. Record Restriction and Expungement Clinic. The Cordial Judicial Circuit presents a record restriction clinic for Ben Hill, Crisp, Dooley, and Wilcox counties. If you are interested in having your expunging records taken off of your records, you have to pre-register in person at the Wilcox County Courthouse between the times of 9 and 3 p.m. And you may begin doing this on August 3rd. The second step in this experiment or this experience is to, after you have pre-registered, come to the location at the W.N. Hudson Agricultural Center, 630 East County Farm Road, Rochelle, Georgia. This is in an effort to help those persons who have things on their records that they would like to have expunged and that will help them in getting a job as they continue to come back into society. For more information, you may contact the Cordial Judicial Circuit for more information, or you may give us a call at the funeral home, and we'll be so happy to share this information with you. As we continue this morning with our announcements, you're invited to worship at the Greater Mars Tabernacle Baptist Church. Conference call schedule is as follows. Sunday morning worship service, Facebook Live, beginning at 9 o'clock a.m. Tuesday, midday prayer conference at 12 o'clock noon. Thursday, prayer meeting and Bible study at 6 o'clock p.m. The call-in number for the conference call is 229-329-7611. Deacon Arthur L. Park is the chairman of deacons. Reverend Dr. K.M. Williams is the pastor. The Mount Zion First African Baptist Church conference call scheduled for Sunday morning beginning at 10 o'clock a.m. Prayer Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 o'clock noon. Bible study is held each Wednesday at 5 o'clock p.m. The call-in number is 339-209-6419. Deacon Joe Wedges, Chairman of Deacons. Dr. Dan James III is the pastor. You're cordially invited to worship with the Gethsemane Baptist Church. Everyone has an invitation to worship with them on their 10:30 a.m. worship service. Mother Mary Butler, Church Mother. Deacon Johnny Wilson, Chairman of Deacons. Cecil Strother is the pastor. The New Oak invites everyone to worship with them each Sunday for Sunday school beginning at 9:15 a.m. Worship service at 10 o'clock a.m. Face covering is required. Deacon Alonzo Jones is the chairman of deacons. Reverend W.W. Wilson is the pastor. The McAfee Grove Baptist Church of Leesburg invites everyone to worship with them for family night on Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m., small class study Thursdays at 7 o'clock p.m., and Sunday morning worship service at 9 o'clock a.m. You may join them by calling 425-436-6341. The access code is 708058. The Fort Valley State University Chris County Head Start and Early Head Start is now accepting applications for the 2022-23 school year. If you are interested, please visit our Head Start Center located at 1110 South 12th Street or the Early Head Start located at 615 West 15th Avenue to pick up an application and to discuss items needed for registration. If you should have any questions prior to your visit, feel free to contact Ms. Keandria Towns or Ms. Laquita Jenwright for Head Start by calling 229-276-9880 or Ms. Shayla Askew for Early Head Start at 229-273-7452. Wilcox County Head Start is taking applications. For more information, please contact Ms. Donna Jenkins, Center Manager, by calling 478-922-4464. The Little Rock Baptist Church everyone to worship with them today at 10 o'clock a.m. Minister Janice Sales will be the speaker. Mother Adeline Lofton is the church mother. Deacon Nathaniel Nance is chairman of deacons. Reverend Joseph Green is the pastor. Christ Chapel Unadilla food distribution will be Friday, August 5th, and Friday from 11 a.m. in the parking lot of the PNC Bank located at 2233 Pine Street in Unadilla. The food pantry will be open on Saturday, August 13th and August 27th from 10 a.m. until 12 o'clock noon at 400 Jeanette Street in Unadilla. This information comes from Ms. Jeanette Taylor, who is the reporter. The Jerusalem Baptist Church of Ellaville annual revival will be Tuesday, August 9th through Thursday, August 11th at 7 o'clock p.m. Tuesday night, Minister Dawan Griggs of Montezuma will be the guest speaker. Wednesday, Dr. Beverly Bolden, pastor of the Pleasant Valley Baptist Church, Pinehurst, Georgia, will be the guest speaker. And Thursday, Reverend O. Quintard Bryant, pastor of the Bethlehem Baptist Church in Americas, will be the guest speaker. The revival will come next Sunday, August 14th at 11 o'clock a.m. The pastor, Dr. Deanne Holsley, will be in charge. Dr. Deanne Holsley is the pastor. The Violent Church of Christ National Night Out will be Tuesday, August 2nd from 7 p.m. until 9 o'clock p.m. They invite Dooley County to come out and get to know the emergency first responders and local officials. Snacks will be provided. The Friendship Baptist Church of Findlay, Georgia annual homecoming service will be Sunday, August 14th at 11 o'clock a.m. The revival will begin on Monday, August 15th and Tuesday, August 16th at 7 o'clock p.m. The pastor, Reverend Joseph Atkins, will be in charge of these services. Sister Inez Johnson is the secretary. Reverend Joseph Atkins is the pastor. We would like to send a very special congratulations to the Hosey Cobb Institute Alumni Association 2022 Virtual School Reunion. The reunion from July 29th through 31st has been a rewarding experience, reuniting all of these classmates virtually with alumni members, family, and friends. We wish a very special
Congratulations to them as they're celebrating virtually this year and as they will continue to climax their celebration today. We extend a very special congratulations to the Hosey Cobb Institute Alumni Association President, Brother Cleveland Livens, the Generations President, Ms. Beatrice Lewis, and the Secretary, Mrs. Mary Beal. Everyone has a cordial invitation to worship. Countdown. Sunday school begins at 10 o'clock a.m., worship service at 10:30 a.m. Each of you have a cordial invitation to attend. This concludes our announcements for today.
And now for dedication. Our first selection this morning is dedicated to the following: in loving memory of Mrs. Laura Weaver, who would have celebrated her birthday July 27. Dedication requested by the Weaver family, gone but not forgotten. In loving memory of Mr. Marvin Clark, who departed this life July 28, 1998. Dedication requested by the Clark family, gone but not forgotten. In loving memory of Mrs. Gladys Smith Denard, who departed this life July 29, 2002. Dedication requested by her beloved children and grandchildren and the entire Denard, Martin, and Smith families. Precious memory lingers still. In loving memory of Deacon Leonard Gary, who departed this life July 30, 1983. Dedication requested by the Gary family and the members of the Mount Zion First African Baptist Church, where he served as chairman of the Board of Deacons for many years. Deacon Leonard Gary, gone but not forgotten. In loving memory of Mrs. Louise Hamilton Rogers, who would have celebrated her birthday July 30th. Dedication requested by her beloved children, grandchildren, and the entire Hamilton and Rogers family. Precious memory lingers still. In loving memory of Mrs. Georgia Fuller, who would have celebrated her birthday August 2nd. Dedication requested by her beloved sister, Mrs. Annette Stemridge, gone but not forgotten. Our first selection this morning is dedicated to the following: happy 41st wedding anniversary to Mr. Charles and Miss Geraldine Putman, who celebrated their anniversary on Thursday, July 28th. Dedication requested by their beloved children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and the entire family. God bless your union and keep it strong. Our first selection this morning is dedicated to the following. Special birthday wishes goes out to my nephew, Mr. Frederick Johnson, Fred, who celebrated his birthday on Sunday, July 24th. Dedication requested by the Johnson family and the staff of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. Happy birthday, Fred, and many more. Happy birthday to Mrs. Lizzie Hamilton Jordan, who celebrated her birthday Wednesday, July 27. Dedication requested by her beloved husband and the entire Hamilton and Jordan family. Happy birthday to Deacon Norman Fields Sr., who will celebrate his birthday Tuesday, August 2nd. Dedication requested by his beloved wife, Miss Sabrina Fields, and the entire family. Happy birthday to my nephew again, Deacon Kenneth E. Smith, Jr., who will celebrate his birthday Tuesday, August 2nd. Dedication requested by his beloved children, his mother, his sisters, and the entire Smith family, and the staff of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home, and his church family, the Greater Morris Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church, where he serves as program chairman. Deacon Kenneth E. Smith, from his pastor, Dr. K.M. Williams, Deacon Tommy Ford, Jr., and the entire membership all says happy birthday to Deacon Kenneth E. Smith, Jr., birthday on Tuesday, August 2nd. Our first selection this morning is dedicated to the following: Deacon James Smith and family, Mrs. Pearline Smith Anderson and family of Dawson, Georgia, Deacon S. Cassandra Jackson and family, Mrs. Mary Lango Smith and family, Deacon Henry King of the Gethsemane Missionary Baptist Church, Mother Mary Butler, church mother, the Gethsemane Baptist Church, Deacon Lauren Wellens and family, Mrs. Gladys Porter, better known, Mrs. Gladys Porter Lewis, better known as Sister Porter, Mother Mary Hall and family, Mr. and Mrs. Dexter Cutts and family of Lee County, Georgia, Deacon Joe Clark and family, Deacon and Mrs. Oscar Cook, chairman of the Board of Deacons of the Friendship Baptist Church of DeSoto, Georgia, and all of the members of Friendship Baptist Church, Sister Dessa Fuller and the entire Fuller and Mercer family. Mrs. Mercy D. Carter and family, Deacon Bobby Fuse and family, Mother Mamie Robinson and family, Deacon Kelvin and Sister Rosemary Jones and family, Mr. and Mrs. Silence Didell and family, Deacon and Mrs. Lawrence Williams and family, Mother Janie Billings and family, retired educator, Mrs. Elizabeth Waters and family, Mr. Louis Kennedy and family, Mother Adeline Lofton, church mother, of the Little Rock Baptist Church of Arabi, Georgia, Pastor Ola Lofton and family of Arabi, Georgia, Chris County Tax Commissioner, Mrs. Deborah Lofton and family, Mrs. William A. Crapp and family, Mrs. Ethel Johnson and family, Mrs. Eddie Mae Gaston and family, Mrs. Eddie Mae Graper and family, Deacon James Maddox and Dr. Elizabeth Maddox and the entire Maddox and Graper family. Mr. A.B. and Mrs. Valerie Levant and family, Mrs. Dorothy Rose Jones and family, Ms. Gail Chanel and family, Mrs. Lakeitha Smith and family, Mother Grace Patrick and the entire Patrick family, Ms. Rena Beal and family, Mrs. Patricia Turner and family, City Commissioner, Ms. Vesta Shepherd and family, the entire Shepherd and Beal family, Mrs. Annie Jones and family, Mrs. Carolyn Levant and family, the Reverend Dion and Sister Cynthia Jones and family, Mrs. Aletha Askew, church clerk and trustee of the New Oak Grove Baptist Church, and Mrs. Bobby James and family, Miss Connie James and family, Miss Annette Stembridge and family, Mrs. Naroba Levant and family, Mrs. Annie Mae Smith and family, Mrs. Shaquella Woodson and family, Miss Betty Levant and family, Mrs. Juanita Montford and family, Miss Jerry Lewis and family, Deacon Wayward Dempsey and family, Miss Verdale Butts and family, Mr. Rico Dempsey and family, Mrs. Inez Johnson and family, Deaconess Carrie Brooks and the entire Brooks and Johnson family, Miss William A. Leary and family of Hatley, Georgia, Mrs. Lucille Hillman and family of Ashburn, Georgia, Miss Shirley Epps and family, Mrs. Essie Gay and family, Mrs. Gwendolyn Henderson and family, and Mrs. Eddie Ruth White and family, Miss Val Carter and family, Miss Sarah Jackson and family, Miss Patricia White and family, Mr. Andrew Jackson and family, Mrs. Barbara Joe Jackson and family, Mr. Sean Hutchins and family, Miss Selma Jackson and family, Mr. F.D. Lawton and family, Mr. Lonnie Williams and family, and the entire Williams family, Miss Lois Reynolds and family, missionary Irene Cantrell and the pastor Cantrell and family, Miss Geraldine Perry and family, Miss Bernice Relaford and family, the Bryant family, the Armstrong family, Miss Frances Relaford and family, Mrs. Shirley Faye Green and family, the Mobley family, Mrs. Lottie Tarbert and family, the Fullwood family, Mother Ethel Fullwood and the entire family, Miss Jackie Lattimore and family, missionary Ola Mike and family, Mother Laura McNeil and family, Mrs. Mary Frances Davis and family, Miss Katrina Davis and family, Miss Naisha Davis and family, Mrs. LaShonda Donaldson and family, Mr. Justin Colbert Jr. and family, Mrs. Thelma Bryan and family, Miss Burl Patrick and family, Miss Mary Taylor and family, Mother Willeen McGill and family, Mrs. Nebby Cross and family, Mr. Judge and Mrs. Tommy Glenn and family, Deacon and Mrs. Charles Glenn and family, Mrs. Lavetta Fields and family, Mrs. Marsha Holmes and family, Mrs. BJ Felton, Ezel, and family, and the staff at BJ's Diner, and the entire Felton family. Our first selection this morning goes out to my neighbor, Mrs. Theron, Mother Theron Jones, and family, the entire Jones and Tarbert family, Mother Dorothy Tarbert and family, Deacon and Mrs. John Stubbs and family, Mrs. Juanita Tarbert and family, and the entire Tarbert family. Our first selection this morning.
I want to tell you something. Oh, what a friend we have in Jesus. Girl, what our sins and grief bear. Oh, what a privilege it is to carry all your burdens. Take it all to Jesus. All your cares. Take it all. I'm gonna take my time and thank you. In prayer. I want to ask you again. I'm gonna tell you. Oh, what a friend we have in Jesus. Sing, girl. What our sin and grief bear. Oh, what a privilege it is to carry all your burdens, all your cares, all to God. In prayer. Oh, what peace we all have. Yes. Oh, what needless hands bear. Oh, because we did not carry all your burdens, all your cares, all to God. Yeah, that's all right. I want to say it again. Oh, what peace we all have. Sing, girl. Oh, what needless hands bear. Sing, Delta. Oh, because we did not carry all your burdens, all your cares, all to God. Yeah. Come on, children. You know what? And let us have a little confidence.
It is certainly with the deepest regret that we make the following announcement. Mrs. Talika Diane Ford, age 47, 105 North Bass Street, Cordele, Georgia, died Tuesday, July 26, at the Chris Regional Hospital in Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mrs. Talika Diane Ford, age 47, will be held Saturday, August 6 at 10 a.m. at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home Portico in Cordele, Georgia. The burial will follow at the Bethel Cemetery in Cordele, Georgia. The public walk-up visitation will be Friday, August 5th from 1 until 5 p.m. at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. Mr. Boise Dixon, age 70, of 140 Sook Road, Rochelle, Georgia, died Monday, July 18th at the Crisp Regional Nursing and Rehabilitation Center in Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Boise Dixon, age 70, will be announced at a later date, pending the completion of the arrangements. Mrs. Margaret Ann Hall Trotman, age 65, of 1257 Blue Spring Road, Pineview, Georgia, died Sunday, August 24th at the Taylor Regional Hospital in Hawkinsville, Georgia. The funeral service for Mrs. Margaret Ann Hall Trotman will be announced at a later date, pending the completion of the arrangements. The J.W. Williams Funeral Directors serving Cordele and Vienna are in charge of each of these arrangements during this week. Our next and final selection for this morning is dedicated to the bereaved families whose loved ones were laid to rest during the past week. The family of United States Navy veteran Mr. Lawson Brown of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Sister Margie Mae Perry of Vienna, Georgia. The family of Mother Mary Belle Reeves Doster of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Mrs. Jackie Lango McClure of New York, New York, and Vienna, Georgia. This selection is dedicated to the bereaved families whose loved ones will be laid to rest during this week. The family of Miss Talika Diane Ford of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Mr. Boise Dixon of Rochelle, Georgia. The family of Mrs. Margaret Ann Hall Trotman of Pineview, Georgia. Our final selection this morning is dedicated to all of the sick and shut-in, to all patients in the local and surrounding hospitals, nursing homes, and rehabilitation centers, to our beloved ministers and their devoted family members, to all retired educators, to the men and women serving in our armed forces, both stateside and abroad, to all veterans, and to everyone who listens to our program on each Sunday morning. It's a pleasure for us to bring it to you. Our program goes out in memory of our past president, Dr. Napoleon Williams, to my wife, Mrs. Calandra Wilkerson Parker, to my son, Jai Wilkerson Parker. This selection goes out to my mother-in-law, Miss Billy Ann Hall, to my brother, retired Chief Master Sergeant Norman F. Dexter, and his wife, Dr. Gwendolyn Maxine Dexter, and their grandson, Noble. This selection goes out to my sister, Mrs. Patsy Jackson, and her husband, Sir Jim Jackson of Cordele, Georgia. This selection goes out to my niece, Mrs. Vera Mathis, and family, Mrs. Rosalind Johnson Porter, better known as Pig. This selection goes out to Mrs. Gloria Walker and the members of the Marthana Living Way of Christ Church. And this selection goes out to our beloved Mrs. Easter May Sanders and family. Our selection goes out to Mr. Simon Felder. This morning, Mrs. Johnny Bell Sanders and family, the Reverend and Mrs. Keith Lewis and family, Mr. and Mrs. George Rackett and family, Mrs. Joe Blank and family of Vienna, Georgia, and the entire Black family, Deacon and Mrs. Betty Crane and family, Pineview, Georgia, Pinehurst, Georgia, Deacon and Deacon John David Law and family, and the members of the Evergreen Baptist Church of Pioneers, Georgia. Miss Pamela Law and family, Mr. Harvey C. and family, Mother Blotty Beal and family, Mrs. Mattie West and family, Mr. and Mrs. John Leroy Perry and family, the Cantrell family, the Hardwick family, Mrs. Marie Felton and family, Mrs. Bobby Jean Vandrow and family, Mrs. W.D. King and the entire King family, Miss Christine Kingdom and family, Mr. and Mrs. Pernell Lakeler, Dr. and Mrs. Thaddeus Lakeler and family, Miss Dorothy Lamar and family, Deacon Willis C. Kendrick and family, the Cleo Hoggebrook family, Mrs. Cynthia Woodson and family, Miss Rosa Cooper and family, Miss Lily Mae Perry and family, the Mike Hamilton family of Lily, Georgia, Mr. and Mrs. Emerson Lundy and family, the Granville family, Mrs. Arthur Lawson and family, Mrs. Calvin Baskin Jr. and family, Mr. Frank Thomas and family, Mrs. Molly Williams and family, Miss Shirley Jean Taylor and family, Mrs. Evelyn Thomas and family, the G. Lundy family, Miss Eunice Lewis and family, Mrs. Claudia Mae Dawson and family, Mr. and Mrs. Frank Almond and family, Mrs. Minnie Jewel Duhart and family, Mr. and Mrs. Wayne Adams and family, Deacon and Mrs. Willis Sutton and family. And again, goes out to each and every one who listens to our program on each Sunday morning. But to my nephew, Deacon Kenneth Smith, program chairman of the Greater Morris Tabernacle Baptist Church, and our pastor, Dr. K.M. Williams, his wife, Sister Kathy Williams, and again to each and every one, to Mr. Cleveland R. Lemon, oldest staff member of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home, and assisted us on yesterday with the homegoing service of Mother Dawson. And again, we remind you to please send your announcements in before 12 on Saturday. Send your announcements in before 12 o'clock on Sunday. Do that so we can have them prepared for our Sunday morning program. God bless you.
God bless you. I want to take you back a few years to a song that I love. When I first started singing full-time in gospel music some 20 years ago, there was a little song that I borrowed from Bobby Womack. You know, this song says, no matter how high I get, I'll still be looking up to you. I want to make it clear who I'm singing about. I'm talking about Jesus. Talking about Jesus. Because I don't want to get so high that the Lord can't use me. I want to be where he can use me anytime and anywhere. I know it's nobody but the Lord that got me where I am today. That's why I sing this song. Here's the verse. Even though I've had,
Yes, I'm going to walk. Oh, that will keep my way. Oh, child.
Thank you for joining us this morning. We hope you've enjoyed our program. Tune in again on next Sunday morning. In your time of need, contact the competent, capable, and dependable staff at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home.
Oh, some of these days, well,